Hi y'all, welcome and welcome back. In this video, we'll go over what makes a philosophical essay unique, how it builds on the arguments you've already learned to write, and what structure and practices will help you succeed. A philosophical essay is more than just an opinion piece. It presents a carefully reasoned argument. That means you explain your reasoning step by step, support it with evidence, and take time to respond to opposing views. You've already learned how to write philosophical arguments in standard argument form, a list of premises, and a conclusion. A philosophical essay takes that outline and expands it into organized paragraphs. Instead of just listing the premises and the conclusion, you'll write full sentences and paragraphs that flow together. The essay has an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion, similar to a 5-paragraph essay, but our essay is a 6-paragraph essay. In this essay format, the first paragraph, the introduction, presents your main argument and sets up the discussion. The 3 body or premise paragraphs explain and support your premises with reasoning evidence and citations to your sources. In paragraph 5, you should consider objections and/or counter-arguments and respond to them. Finally, the conclusion paragraph ties everything together, reminding the reader of your reasoning and restating why your thesis holds. Here's a simple example of an argument outline. Conclusion: you should not smoke. Premise 1: smoking is bad for your health. Premise 2: secondhand smoke harms others. Premise 3: quitting improves quality of life. This is just the skeleton of the argument. Your job in a philosophical essay is to bring it to life with explanation, evidence, and analysis. To turn the outline into an essay, you might start with an introduction, stating your thesis and explaining why the issue matters. Then you'll develop the body paragraphs, 1 about health risks, 1 about harm to others, and 1 about the benefits of quitting smoking. After that, include an objection and a response, for example, that smoking is a personal freedom, and why that argument falls short. Finally, wrap up with the conclusion summarizing the whole discussion. Here's the example essay. Introduction. In this essay, I argue that people should not smoke. While some people believe smoking is a matter of personal freedom, smoking poses serious health risks to individuals and to those around them. It also reduces quality of life, whereas quitting brings measurable benefits. These reasons show that smoking is not simply a personal choice, but a moral and public health issue. Body paragraph 1. Health risks. Smoking is bad for your health. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, cigarette smoking harms nearly every organ of the body, causes many diseases, and reduces the health of smokers in general. It's also the leading cause of preventable death in the United States. Smokers are significantly more likely than non-smokers to develop serious illnesses such as lung cancer, heart disease, and stroke. These health risks are not theoretical. They are well documented by decades of scientific research. This evidence supports the conclusion that individuals should not smoke. Source: CDC cigarette smoking, and then you see the full link to that source. Body paragraph number 2, harm to others. In addition to harming the smoker, smoking also harms people nearby through secondhand smoke. The CDC explains that secondhand smoke contains over 7,000 chemicals, many of which are toxic or cancer-causing. Non-smokers who are regularly exposed to secondhand smoke are at increased risk for heart disease, lung cancer, and other health problems. Children exposed to secondhand smoke are more likely to develop asthma, respiratory infections, and sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. Because smoking endangers others, including those who do not choose to smoke, it raises serious ethical concerns about personal responsibility and harm. Source: CDC about secondhand smoke, and there we again have the full link. Body paragraph 3, benefits of quitting. Not only is smoking harmful, but quitting has major benefits. The CDC reports that quitting smoking can add years to a person's life and dramatically reduce their risk of disease. Within just a few weeks of quitting, circulation improves, lung function increases, and the risk of heart attack begins to drop. Long-term, former smokers live longer and report better quality of life. This means that change is possible and worthwhile, even for long-term smokers. Encouraging people to quit is both medically beneficial and ethically important. Source: CDC Benefits of Quitting Smoking, and again, we have the full link. Objection and response. Some people argue that smoking is a personal freedom, that individuals should be allowed to make choices about their own bodies. While autonomy is important, this argument fails to consider how smoking affects others. Secondhand smoke harms children, co-workers, and the general public. Additionally, public health policy often limits individual choices when they pose a risk to others, as we see with drunk driving laws or vaccination requirements. Respecting freedom does not mean ignoring the harm caused by smoking. Ethical choices must take into account not just personal liberty, but also responsibility to others. Conclusion. In conclusion, smoking presents serious health risks not only to the individual, but also to others. It reduces quality of life and shortens lifespan. Meanwhile, quitting brings measurable benefits and allows people to lead healthier, more fulfilling lives. Although personal choice matters, ethical reasoning requires that we consider harm to others. For all of these reasons, people should not smoke. Here are some tips for writing strong philosophical essays. Be clear and direct. Avoid vague or overly complex language. Support every claim with reasoning or evidence. Use transitions to connect ideas smoothly. Always cite your sources, even if you paraphrase. Stay focused and organized. Don't wander into unrelated or emotional arguments. Academic honesty is essential. Always use quotation marks for direct quotes. Cite all of your sources, even websites, tools, or class materials, and artificial intelligence. Even paraphrased information requires a citation. Plagiarism is a serious academic violation. When in doubt, give credit. To recap, here is our suggested format to follow. Introduction. Introduce your topic and thesis. Body paragraph 1, first premise with evidence and citation. Body paragraph 2, second premise with evidence and citation. Body paragraph 3, third premise with evidence and citation. Objection and response. Conclusion. Summarize your argument and reasoning. A final checklist. Before you submit your essay, ask yourself these questions. Have I clearly stated my main argument? Does each paragraph support my thesis with reasoning or evidence? Have I used proper citations and quotation marks? Is my writing clear and well organized? Have I included both the conclusion of my argument, my thesis, and the conclusion of my essay, the final summary paragraph? Alright y'all, that's all for now. If you'd like to watch more videos on philosophy, ethics, or writing philosophy, please take a look at the videos posted on our channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.